Hello and good evening. Okay, so tonight we're going to be doing something a little different. I plan on doing something weird, and I want to see how long until someone actually notices the paint scheme, who it's actually based off of. So, I'm not going to show the inspiration right off the bat tonight. I gotta get stuff set up because if anything, I got stuff in the way. My apologies. My apologies. And what the heck am I listening to? There we go. There we go. Okay, so I still got paint, water. I don't have to worry about that. Now where, oh where, there's the paint palette. My mini palette, that is. So this one's going to be an interesting one tonight. So, good evening. Right off the bat, we actually have where I'm going to say this one. The paint scheme, I'm kind of curious how long until someone notices what they're supposed to be based off of on the paint scheme. So, now a couple weeks ago, we supported and printed all 5 of the Vidatum, the normal warriors. The scale to these is more right to me. Now, I had where I already printed one at his normal default scale, and I threw silver on it just to check it out. But to me, as cool as it looks to just be in straight silver, kind of like a Terminator. Yeah, T-1000. Not the Terminator as in, hey, Games Workshop, you ripped someone off. Yeah. It looks cool as that paint color. But I'm not one for just one straight color. It looks lame to me. And even though the tubes, of course, are going to have something different on the coloring. So first off, first objective. Need to prime. And I still love... Oh, get out of there. Get out of there. Okay, I see I'm going to have having issues right off the bat. Because right now I've got models where they're not supposed to be. Yeah. And I have no clue what I'm listening to. Is there actually singing to this? Because I can tell you this one, I don't call that a song. I call that a get out of my ears. I have no clue what that song was, other than someone pissed off and yelling and screaming. Linkin Park, what the heck? So right now I'm going for a little bit of mayhem because I forgot to clean out models from my paint tray. I'm still printing more cube to goes to organize models I have, but yeah, that backfired a little. Well, a little is an understatement. That backfired a lot because my desk is looking, well, it's a little piled under to an extent. I need to come up with my own custom setup. Okay, it's not you I need, but you will work out easier. That's a little better. So, favorite primer to use. Now you can actually, excuse me, use this in an airbrush, but I prefer to use this just straight out of the bottle, brush on. To me, it gets more coverage faster. And on top of that, I feel like it gets better adhesion. Plus, if you do it thick enough, well, not thick enough, but just the right amount, it hides the layered lines to your 3D prints. These, don't get me wrong, I love 3D printing, but I've had a thing for over 8 years, ever since 3D printing started booming with resin printing, where even in supposedly injection molded models that turned out they were recasts, I would turn the model just to see if I could find the actual layer lines. Because to me, if you do it right, it's kind of cool whenever you can actually see the layer lines pop out. And it makes them look extremely shiny. But in all honesty, these actually had where these came off my Anycubic Photon Mono X. And I'm still surprised with the detail that they actually had on it compared to what people think. And yeah, it made it so easier to just print them all at once. Sorry, sander. And yeah, I know it's a repurposed toothbrush. Leave me alone. And no, that wasn't in my mouth beforehand. Okay. So this one had a slight problem, because as you can see, one of its spindly bits broke off. But you're not going to see that up close anyways. So we're literally going to get generous with putting it on real quick. Because we want to actually slop it on, but evenly. Personally, I'm hoping to actually get the squad done in one night. I've got where I'm going to be going through the model library little by little, because what I want to do is take and make a custom squad for Stargrave, a custom crew. And these will be perfect for their newest expansion that they did. The newest expansion book is Death Vector, if I remember right. More or less, they actually go into a robotic sector the way it looks. Yeah, Skynet expanded beyond just the Earth. It's actually in a whole freaking universe of its own. But Stargrave is actually a fun game system. You don't need Games Workshop to always feed you another game. Yeah. If anything, to me, their prices are way too far nuts. Although I can't say much because a model like this, I'd actually charge $8 a model. But with this compared to what you get from a game company, there's zero assembly. Unless the model actually is D-piece to assemble. I know a lot of people have where they don't like to paint the models assembled. And you know what? Let's move this down to where it would be more comfortable for me. Because in all honesty, I'm kind of feeling a Hunchback of Notre Dame a little. So we need to, I don't, it doesn't need an adult. It's a robot. It's a robot. It's a clanker. I'm gonna feel surrounding real. acid white, so it's easier to... Yep, that's my fault. I need to make my own custom paint carriers at this rate. The only problem I have with doing this is if it takes too long. Okay. So there's only 5 models to this squad, by the way. Now, one thing people don't realize you can do to cheat is if you want, you can double that number. Because you can actually mirror something easily with the click of a button before you 3D print it. That way, it's basically, say for instance, instead of a guy running to the right, he'll be running to the left. Instead of facing to the right, facing to the left. Now, it's a handy trick, in all honesty. If you don't want the unit to look the same, and if they, say for instance, only did one pose, and you don't want to manually rig it, and do the poses from scratch. That's where it's handy. And in all honesty, if you do this good enough, they're not even really going to see the layer lines. And it's not like you have to actually just lob it on to heck and back either. So this is just the primer. It's not a base coat. But no, honestly, if you wanted to, you could take and cheat with these models, skip a step, and with these, you can get where the paint adheres to the resin pretty good. So you can skip a step and not have to prime them like this, or rattle can primer. But to me, for painting's sake, I normally take everything to a straight black. And then take and from that point on, actually start to paint. Now the reason is simple enough. To me, it's the darker the base primer, the darker the primer, then the darker the paint. And when you go to do your highlights, you can make the highlights pop out a lot better to me. But I don't do highlighting like other people either. I like my colors to look more realistic. It's like even right now, you don't see any straight white on my clothes. Because I don't have like an overly reflective surface to me. I actually have where it's, if I was sweating, you might see like white on me that way. But literally, unless the light is like way up close, you don't see any white. And it's like in this case, you see the white on the rubber on the gloves, but that's because it's actually a reflective surface. Now the black, it's more like a gray than a white. But I'll see people do white highlights on anything and everything, and it drives me nuts. It's one of those of, okay, no, just... That's why a trick that I learned after years I like to do is, if what you're painting is meant to be reflective, then take and paint it with a glossy coat. Seal it, because anytime you're done painting a model, you should actually seal the paint either with a matte coat or a glossy coat. So it's like I actually have where if it's a slimy surface, say for instance like eyes, water effects, maybe blood on a sword or oil, fluids in general, those are all gonna get glossy coated. When I first started painting, I ran glossy coated everything. But that's because I couldn't find a brush on matte coating. So it's one of those, I went with what I could. I just went with what I could. It's simple as that. Gotta admit, I go through this paint faster this way. It takes more of the primer to do it this way. But in all honesty, it's still cheaper this way than it is using a rattle can. I don't have to wait for the perfect weather conditions that way then. I have an airbrush, I just have to actually get someone that's more familiar with them because I never really learned how to use my airbrush. And I find it funny because the fact of I'm always kind of straightforward at the local hobby shops, not many actually interact with me. If anything, they complain a lot whenever I actually hear me complaining, but that's because I see them destroying the wargaming terrain or getting stuff out like kids and not putting their stuff away. And they just bring up the, oh, well, now the employees are paid to do that, and it's... Is your rear end 6? Yeah, do you do this crap at your own home? You'll crap away. I mean, to help people out, I even actually bought the store cart to use for terrain to help put it away and to help get it. So say for instance, if someone wants to actually get a big 4 foot by 8 foot table for Warhammer 40K, yeah, they're going to end up having a lot of terrain. They could use it. But everyone just... At that shop, they'll literally just destroy the terrain. There's even like a whole box of buildings that I should be reassembling, but I've been reassembling buildings for them in that store now for 10 years, and I'm kind of burned out from it. Like I said, you can actually have where you can see some of the layer lines. It's like I can see some right there. So your loincloth is it's looking a little tattered. And looking, I can actually also see on the head. But this primer is actually a little reflective, as if you couldn't tell anyways though. So that'll actually disappear though once we start painting. If we don't get all of the gray, that's fine. We don't need to actually like hit every hidden spot. Okay, so also tonight we're only going to be doing the models. We're not going to be doing the bases. We'll do the bases. No, I can do the bases off stream. No, we can do the bases after we do the primer. Because I just cheat and use Astro Granite anyways, and then paint over it. Is that it? Okay, saving that one. Personally, this thing's actually got where it's at least going to have black and one weird spot that I got to sort out, because, well, basically the area it's supposed to be, so then it's not funny. Can't really see it all that well. Ah, crap, I didn't change the... One of my mental portfolio, I forgot to change the category. I really forgot to actually change that category. Yeah. There we go. Can't believe I actually forgot to do that. My apologies. No, I do plan on something different with this model some. I'd like to have a glow effect coming from inside of their ribs. Because in all honesty, the back detail, that just screams to have something done with it. I mean, with these things, you can't tell from this one as easily because I didn't really do a wash to it all that well. But it's got that same rib design on the front as it does the back. So I want to do something different with that. I just haven't decided what color. Maybe have blue. I don't know. We'll decide when we get the base coat on what the base color is going to be. Because the base color is going to be red. I can tell you that one for the most part. I do plan on doing this one's helmet a different color to signify it as the leader of the unit, more or less. Because it's the only one that isn't actually aiming. Although I think I'm going to have him so he's the only one with a gold helmet. And the rest are silver helmets. Nah. That messes with the paint scheme. Okay. The only thing I'm not fond of with this one is I can hear some type of noise that reminds me of a fence actually clicking that's got something stuck to it, an electric fence with something stuck to it. I don't know why I keep putting that back. I might as well actually just put it where it's faster and easier to get to. Although, considering the song just said high voltage, that's why. They're probably doing it intentionally. However, as someone who's been on a farm most of his life, that noise drives me nuts from paranoia. That shorting noise is no. They really had to put their own name in their own song. Cool though. Funny. Okay, that's number 4 out of 5. Primed. Not that prime. There is no rollout. Heck, on it. However, there is a Charlie horse. After I get this blob of primer used up, it'll be time to stand up and stretch. And I just realized I moved that. My apologies. Okay. Oh. Oh, that was needed. Okay. That feels better. That feels a lot better. Well, the shoes are still, could be off. Excuse me. Okay, so this one is going to be done easily pretty fast. So I need a backup model just in case I have too much primer left over, preferably a small one. Yeah, small one acquired. One from Arno Studios that we supported, or not supported, that printed recently from their Neo Kingdoms Volume 4 full. Yep, that's what I figured. That one's going to be a pain, but they're all actually a pain getting into there, in all honesty. But that's why I'm doing the primer with this longer brush. Okay. Still see some gray. Jackpot. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I like the translucent resin, but the problem is these never show out the detail fully on camera. Okay, I have no clue what the heck I'm even listening to for music. Don't get me wrong, I liked Linkin Park in the past, but some of the songs I've been hearing tonight do not sound like a song to me. It just sounds like It's a poor cash grab to grab attention just using someone's name, I guess. Kind of reminds me of more or less when Spielberg had where he started actually having issues making content, and then next thing you know, some things you just had to question, okay, is that even an actual, what is it? That's not, like a monster. Okay, yeah, that thing could go. Okay, so now the primer's on. I've got to get out the astrogranite and hello, my good friend. It's time to get you back to work. Sculpting tool. Crap. I forgot I had to put primer around those bases. Another time. Now this stuff I love using. You'll have seen me use it in the past, and I'll gladly still go ahead and push it if... Yeah, Games Workshop. I'm done with your war games. You still got me on the paints. To an extent for now. I got a buddy that's trying to actually sell me on Walmart's paints, in all honesty. I don't blame him though. He's got where he's constantly got issues going on with money. He had one time where he had dumb luck where, lo and behold, I worked at a local Walmart at one point. And his wife was having medical issues in the parking lot when he had their daughter in the car. And the little girl was scared, and it's okay. I've still got to work. I'm out here and a lot working anyways, though, so I'll just take and make my laps and check on you while I'm actually working. So this will actually take no time flat to dry whenever it's actually a low amount like that. The bases do have a little bit of texturing to them already, because there's another company that was cheating that actually decided to copy their cheat. They were just printing the bases upside down with a textured build plate on a 3D printer. Personally, I like doing it where it's an FDM printed base. Because to me, it's less cheap. It's less cleanup, for one, first and foremost. Number two, even PLA is got a better chance of surviving than resin to me. Number three, I've got where these are my own custom ones. I actually did, so I can put a base, or not a base, a magnet in the bottom of each one. Now, I like to use K&J magnetics. I've used them since, now, unfortunately, I got into the towel. Years ago. It's like now I've got where I have people try to explain to me about magnetizing models, and I'm just here. Yeah, I could have told you about that 20 years ago. So that's how fast you can actually get these out. And I didn't even realize I was actually getting paint all over my fingers. Lovely. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. I admit, Michael had a lot of screwed up to him, but a lot of people do. It's a matter of what skeletons are actually out in the open. What he did to kids, I hate to say, yeah, his fortune really should have actually been stuck paying out to those that he wronged. Okay, that one I can see the layer lines by looking good there. As well as there. There's me, surface away. Whenever away. Yeah, we're not going for anything fancy. While it's still wet. Come on. I just need you into there. Okay. Really? They use the name acapella with that. That's... Yeah, no. That's in bad taste to me. Don't disappoint me. I'm tired of being disappointed by you tonight, dang it. Nope, nope. Do not follow. Daggone it. Yeah, too many models. Too many models on the base, and I need to actually fix some of these models now because of an issue. So I have some models that actually put on normal bases, but I wanted to have magnets in the bases. Because in all honesty, the magnets that I use add a little extra weight to them. That way, it doesn't just take off flying. Now, I can say this one, after actually doing the bases the way I did, I think I'd rather have had the magnet hole in the center of the base as well. Because I have noticed sometimes the models want to turn on their own thanks to the magnet polarity. So that's a lesson learned. Okay, so next up, the bodies are red. I mean, it makes sense. It's, yeah. With what I'm doing, it makes sense. I'm not saying what I'm doing. Personally, I'm having to actually offer to do a giveaway of, hey, if anyone can guess what the, yeah, you guess what it's modeled after, you get a thing of them for free. But, yeah. I'm not going to do that one yet. Contemplating. Really contemplating it because in all honesty, I want to see if it will get the inspiration. Not many are going to get that inspiration that I have in mind in all honesty, though. And I had more models in my way than I actually anticipated. Okay, you go over there. I need the darkest red. Actually, Screamer Pink. We're going to go with Screamer Pink for a base coat for red. That way we can get it to actually get some shine to it. And I need to redo this chair. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure I'd be wasting my time doing that bit. Oh, we lucked out. Just needs shaking a little. Shake the money back out of it. Shake it like it owes you money. Because in all honesty, it does. I mean, 5 to 6 hours of paint value, it definitely does. Okay. So, you know, that one's going to be too big. Where is... There's the one I like to torture lately. Okay, yeah. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Yeah, we'll add that one. Feels a little boy bandish, but yeah, a lot of times I consider it a boy band anyways. Get a good bit. Get a good bit. Good bit. So the one alternate color we're going to do with that is we're going to leave the fingers for white. Yeah, I don't know how this song's going to turn out after next year. Because next year's going to be a little weird since they're going to be releasing all of Martin Luther King's files. Crap. Wrong spot. I didn't want to paint that. It was not supposed to be a red spot. Yeah, his daughter, Alvita King, said in the past, or not daughter, but niece, to not remember him for the bad he did. Remember him for the good. That one always actually set weird with me, where it's, okay, why... Okay, so there's one with the base. Because what I want to do is actually a darker red. I think I'm going to actually scrap the idea of the glow effect from it, in all honesty. Considering what I'm actually painting it after, I'm just going to scrap that glow coming from the chest. I might do that on the silver one. Maybe have it like actually be a... more like a squad boss, I guess. It's the combat HQ. There we go. Don't get me wrong, this one sounds cool, but I'd prefer the original. To me, remakes are a shameless cash grab just because they can't think of something else to do. I said what I said. And that also goes to the same with any of them. It's kind of like getting a remastered video game that you actually had initially 10 years beforehand. Yeah. The longtime fans are sitting here with their original copies still wanting to replay it again. And, the fanboy ones... the fanboys and fangirls are actually sitting here just eating up the remaster. They don't mind paying the full price for the remaster. Meanwhile, the ones with the originals are just sitting here... Wait, we have to pay full price for that again? Okay, be right back. So, my apologies. Actually, long story short, Dad wanted to go to sleep early. So these are going to look funny. They're not going to be professional looking, more or less, because of the paint scheme I'm choosing, but it's more in honor of my brother. Because my brother was actually obsessed with a character in the past, and yeah, never did figure out why. But save this, add it to the playlist. Crap. My apologies. We have a little bouncing around going on. So I don't see getting this done in 1 hour. Okay. So one last one needs that red done. Well, pink. Okay, this is going to be funny whenever it's in. Although it's going to be a special objective item. Okay, so the next weird color combo is green. And no, it's not Christmas themed like. Okay, so the base on this one, Caliban green. Okay, although Yeah. So with this combo, it's going to be weird. Thinking about, we're going to do the squad leader. We are going to have his helmet a different color. We're going to do gold for its color. We'll use that to actually signify, hey, he's the leader. Take me to your leader. Excuse me. Okay, so this too big, too big, too big, big, big. Actually, thinking about shoulder pads. Yeah, considering the color scheme, they'd be green as well. Okay. I need to thin down my brush selection. No, let's see. I've got a lot of brushes that are just completely nuked. We're just going to get rid of here and now. Yeah, I can still torture you. You are no use to me. The only use to it is actually to spot. Both those are no good. Okay, so yeah, it's goodbye, my friends. What I Okay, so selection cut in half. But with the brushes I have on hand, we're still going to go ahead and torture that white one. Judging by the color, it's going to be interesting doing the face. So it turns out the helmet is green as well, looking at it. Yeah, they're going to look like Christmas Vidatum. Goodbye. Crap. So it looks like the gun is going to be a type of brass color. And I screwed up already and painted the helmet green. You don't need taken to a leader. You are the leader. Yeah, this is looking like crap at the moment to people probably because why are you doing red and green? You'll see. I gotta fix his pie. The pie is not a lie, at least. It was fixed. I really hate having to fix files for sculptors. I will admit that. Okay, I'm really tired. I need man with a mission. Where are you? Daggone it. You know what? Screw it. We'll just leave. If I hear another freaking slow Linkin Park song I don't care for, it's just gonna fast forward it through. Yeah, these aren't the Linkin Park I know. Reason. Between. Okay. So I gotta admit, these look silly still. They look silly, but they're works in progress. Leave them cook. Y'all laugh also. Anyone actually sees these, anyone that sees these are gonna laugh as well. Not bad. Come on. I wonder if I actually left my old... I left the brush at the old job I had. That one drives me nuts. It's one that you're always attached to that you lose. Can't win for losing. So this is what I was actually talking about, where I said that these bases dry pretty fast when you do a thin amount. So before we hit the shoes, we're going to actually hit that with black primer to actually hit the base and the sides. Yeah. Okay. This one we'll give a shot. It's passing it so far. Okay. It can stay. It's still not... I'm still a fan of their older stuff. But it's at least above the other stuff. Because the other stuff... It's not... I mean, this stuff is actually... It reminds me a little of, like, emo boy band. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Earthquake. My apologies. Okay, this... I just realized I messed up with this. Come here, you. What are you... Okay. It can still be salvaged. It's just gonna look funny. It's gonna look funny. I gotta do the eyes after the helmet, though. Okay, so we did that one. So, corn red, dry brushed on. You owe me money back. Actually, it feels like clay. Please no clay. Please no clay. Okay, so it is and it isn't clay. It's usable though. These are going to look like Christmas robots to the people that don't know who it's supposed to be inspired by. Okay. We're not using that brush for dry brushing though. Okay. Next victim. Although, actually... Which one's bristles are shorter? Yeah. Dio. Oh, my. Oh. You're done for the night. Get out of here! Okay. This one's a little better. This song's a little better. Although I'm slipping up because I didn't do their guns. We'll save them for later. Actually, at this rate, we're going to save them for tomorrow. Because, that's not working out. Okay. So that... Looks like it's working out good for me. Hmm. You stupid son of a gun. Long story short, Windows is trying to off itself. Because the Python actually has where they made the tower where it has a 1 terabyte hard drive, split it into 3 separate drives, a C, a D, and an E. The D and E actually have 500 gigabytes each. The C, which is for Windows, only 100. It's screaming for space. And they're a gaming company? Or a gaming computer company? That's, rookie mistake. Actually, no, the rookie's mistake was my part because I didn't delete the D and add it to the C before using the hard drive. I felt it would be appropriate, it'd be fine. But, yeah, no. Windows, more or less, is just killing itself. Okay. Shorter brush needed. Okay, so we're going to focus probably the red tonight because I want to see. As long story short, the one it's based off of actually has a darker red, hence doing it this way. Okay, so this one feels like it's actually a rock. Please have something left in you. Actually, I think I hear something. Nope. Okay. It's not gonna work out. It doesn't look like to me it's gonna work out. I might be able to dry brush using that. It looks like I'd have a better chance of adding water to it. No. Caramba. Okay. So where's Wazdaka? Wazdaka. Not to be mistaken for what's up, Doc. Okay. Okay, you do not fall again. I can't find Wazaka Red. This is annoying. I literally just used that the other night even. Okay, this... We're just going to try our luck and see what it does. Get the big boy out of the way. Yeah, that... We'll hit that back. Yeah, because the other red wasn't good enough. Okay, so I do like how it's turning out compared to the other one. Because it is looking more like a red than what I'd done previously. Okay. Brat. Jimmy, if you're watching this, you are a brat. So this is actually at where I should have done this sooner, because that's turning out a lot better than it was. This I should have done that color sooner. So yeah, next time we're just gonna go with corn red. We're not gonna do the screamer pink. Okay. And now I suddenly hear an echo. Evening. Yes, thank you, Jimmy. Okay. Now the problem with that statement is I have a 3D scanner, so I could technically scan it and print it. Because when I got the 3D scanner, I actually had where my brother was married at the point in time, and yeah, I picked on him, and hey, does that mean I can actually have someone scan me, then 3D print a dummy of myself, and April Fool's Day destroy the dummy, and hello! Sorry. Evening all, Warjack's Workshop. I bounce around 3D printing, miniatures painting, once a Blue Moon gaming, but yeah. Tonight is actually listening to Linkin Park. I'm guilty of fast forwarding through a lot of their songs because I'm not a fan of the newer stuff. Don't get me wrong, like Linkin Park, but they're actually, I have no clue what happened to them. And Jimmy, if you actually recognize this thing, this is one of those models, the robots actually. Thank you for the follow, Toady. This is one of them that I supported on stream a couple weeks ago. Right now I've got a weird paint scheme I'm doing based off of a character my brother was a fan of. Right now, I've got 5 of these to do, and I haven't even actually finished off one. Because this one has where the character it's based off of more or less has like a red leotard to it. And then the armoring was green. To anyone actually hasn't seen painting before, this is more or less what they call dry brushing, where you have a darker color underneath, you get a brighter color put on your palette, and then torture your brush by just actually taking it back and forth on the palette until there's just a thin amount left on there. But it gets that nice shading to pop. Yeah, I'm not far behind you. I'm not far behind you. If anything, I was actually about to get off here myself. But in all honesty, I'd like to at least get this thing sorted out some because one of them, at least out of 5, would be better. Then these things have where they remind me of Warframe. This is one of them at the larger scale. Especially that back design. But this thing actually has where it's way too big compared to what the rest of the models are supposed to be. So I didn't support any more of them at that size. Instead, I scaled them down. That way it's compatible with other games. It's like that other game that should not be mentioned. It stands about the same height. Get out of here. Back to the bin with you. Blessed Cylon ripoff. Although technically it's a Starship Troopers ripoff. Oh. My bad. Bringing it back, not a smart move. Okay. This song isn't bad. That's getting added to the playlist. That reminds me of something that should have been in the past that wasn't in the past. This in the 90s would have loved. And I'm hearing an echo because I'm a moron and I forgot to actually close the one tab after Jimmy raided me while I was actually there. I've got streamception going on. I'll be taking care of it in a second. Oh, nope, nope, wrong one. Get out of here. There we go. Okay, and this song sounds like it's going to be a flop. Crap. And I just noticed that those actually... My apologies. I did not notice what it did. I did see the message, though. That's actually funny. And that's what I get for not having mod view up. Yeah, this ain't a jam. This is... You know what? Get out of here. There we go. Breaking the habit. Love it. Okay. Good enough on the red. Let's do a highlight to that green now. Striking green. Expensive this stuff is. Shake the money back out of it. Yeah. There's no saving the money on that one. You've betrayed me. Okay, I've got plenty of other greens over here anyways. Problem is matching that up. Okay, so the final color would be a moot green. So I need a step up. How the heck do I have two moot greens? Okay, now I've got to give one away to someone. Anytime I end up actually having extra paints, I'm guilty of doing that. Jackpot. Death World Forest. That'll be a step up. Okay, this... We're just getting that out of here. Nope. Pass. You know... Okay. Yeah, it can stay. Let's see if we can get a little closer to it. And yeah, my painting, I don't worry about anything special. I don't go after, hey, it's going to be a painting contest or anything like that. To me, paint it like you actually want it to the point where you're happy. Don't forget the spindly bits. Still kind of curious how he actually sees easily with those eyes being that way. I guess the easy way to actually fight him is to stand dead center in between the eyes and walk as close as possible. Skin. You stupid. I was gonna try and add that to the playlist real quick. Okay. I really figured I'd actually have this done by now. And my apologies. I'm too cheap to actually pay for Spotify. Now, actually, not so much too cheap as too broke. I talk about it every now and then, but I actually have where main thing I do is property manager work. And the property has where it's not bad, but I kind of have a crap load of stuff that I'm trying to get caught up on, so that, and also I like supporting 3D sculptors. Normal artists get a lot of support, but 3D sculptors don't get as much support. This isn't a bad song, but it's not one I would go out of my way to listen to again. Okay, so it kind of grows on you, I think. Okay, so that's a start. Unfortunately, it makes that layer line a little more prominent, seeing the highlight on there. And the red, I need to actually find the wash for real quick. Because that... Not over there. I shouldn't have put you in there in the first place. You're HeroScape, you're not paint. Come on. Come on. The holy annulling oil. That stuff goes through pretty fast. Shade. Okay, their stuff bounces around way too much. I'll give it another minute. If it doesn't pick up by then, it's picking out of my playlist. Well, out of my Spotify. It's not in my playlist. Wasn't yet. Won't ever be. Okay. You'll do. Actually, I need a pointier one. Where's the... Come on. Come on. There we are. Good brush. Good brush. So this more or less is to actually do a little shading detailing to make, you know, like the creases and stuff pop out. And at the same time actually takes and will darken other spots as well. The green I need to go back over with Aphonian Camo Shade, but I don't like to hit the same paint that I just did right away. That way it doesn't have a chance to do anything weird, like mess with the pigments by like reactivating them. Yeah, this thing's going to end up actually looking way too much Christmas. If they don't get the reference, they're going to actually see it and just think it's actually a Christmas robot. No, see, I hate admitting that one. I wouldn't blame them, though. Okay, so it's popping out a lot more. So now that green Euphonian Chemo shade is next. Sorry. Agate XF. Euphonian Chemo. So after I hit the Euphonian Chemo shade, I'm going to call it a night. My only problem is I just noticed some supports I didn't get rid of before painting. Hopefully they won't pop out. The fusion is real. Yeah, I'll pass on listening to the demo. I'd rather have the normal one instead of the demo. Series 4, so insecure. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. So we're close to done this mayhem. That made those little vents pop out. So insecure. Yeah, pass on the demo. Okay, so this is where it's going to get funny because I need to do white on the feet, fingers, and eyes. The eyes are going to be interesting. I'm not going to care for the eyes, but crap. If I'm going to commit to it, I need to do it. Yes. That one is done. Flayed one flush. That'll do. Choosing what is real. Okay, so it's the whole freaking shoe. It's actually white. I'm just kind of actually slopping on this one in a moment to see. If anything, this stuff is, if it gets onto the base, c'est la vie. Because the base is going to be repainted anyways. I don't believe in models having clean shoes. Especially when it's something that's actually armored. Or in this case, it probably weighs like 1,000 pounds because, hey, it's a freaking robot that's over 6 foot tall. I mean, technically, if you work off of older scale systems, this is actually more like 8 or 9 foot tall. Okay, next up we need to hit the fingers. So if you ever actually have where your hands aren't steady when you're painting, you can copy what I'm doing. What I do is I brace my hands with one another. It helps out a lot. If anything, it took me a long time to finally learn that trick. And I really don't know when I learned it. I've been trying to figure that one out because it's been driving me nuts. All I know is one day I started doing it. Too much paint. Okay, so he does actually have something weird going on with his eyes. This is going to look funny whenever it's actually done. I don't even know why I actually felt like doing this one like this. Okay, so I'm gonna bolt because it's 11:30 and it's not done. I haven't even actually touched the gun or anything yet. I gotta wait on the wash to dry out anyways. So, tell you that I actually watched the VODs. hey, thanks for watching. You might have picked something up that you hadn't seen in the past. So if you have, cool. We're only human. We learn something every day. Well, thanks for watching. You all have a good day, night, whatever. Be good to yourselves, because you know what? If the world isn't going to be nice to us, at least we can be nice to ourselves.